Hey there, this is Amelia here. Welcome to Amelia's cross-dressing story. Today we are going to share a story called My Name is Amelia Part 3. For more interesting and exclusive stories, please subscribe to my channel and support me at Patreon. I checked out the toiletries and almost shouted with relief to find a disposable razor there. My natural color is blonde, but you can still see stubble after a day. It was a thought that had crossed my mind while I was waiting for Judy to finish showering. One of two thoughts, actually. What am I going to shave with? How long will I have to live life playing it by ear as I go? Oh, and a third question. What's going to happen now, this morning? I shaved and climbed into the shower. I think it was the best shower I ever had. It was an enormous relief to be clean, and I was amazed at how dirty the water running down the outlet was. I finished and got out of the shower. I checked the mirror again, and I thought the person looking back at me seemed to be a little more mature today. I found out later that major events can do that. They can move you along in ways you hadn't thought about. Survival of an ominous threat to personal safety seems to focus you on real life, giving you a new perspective on everything. My dreams had been like Judy's. Fire and more fire, visions of running down the hotel corridor with my nightgown and negligee on fire and the nylon melting into my body and my skin tearing as I ran to the locked fire door at the end of the corridor. A knock on the door brought me back. Judy said through the door, "They're sending up breakfast." 5 minutes. Whatever body I had was going to have to do. I gave my hair a quick going over with the hairdryer, put on the bra and panties, and reattached my wig. I looked pretty much like a girl even without makeup. It was the wig that made the difference. I re-entered the room. "Wow, that feels good," I said. "Nothing like a shower to make you feel better." "I'll just dry my hair," said Judy. "Give me a call when the food gets here. I'm ready to eat an entire animal." The bathroom door closed and I went back to the wardrobe mirror again. I was starting to fret about my appearance, but I still felt I looked more girl than boy. My experience the night before had gone a long way to reassuring me I wouldn't be read easily, but deep down there was still that shyness and a bunch of middle-class inhibitions seething away. There was a knock at the door. I let in 2 room service people with a trolley covered with dishes and covered platters. A smell of bacon wafted past my nose, and suddenly I was ravenously hungry. I knocked on the bathroom door and called, "Food." Room service transferred plates and cutlery to the table over by the window and parked the food trolley next to it. "Please let us know if you need anything else, miss," said one of the food people. "We have instructions to provide whatever you need. Your experience last night must have been quite dreadful, and we want you to take advantage of whatever we have to offer." "Miss?" I loved these people. "Thank you," I said as I sat down and started lifting the lids. "For now, breakfast is what we need." The bathroom door opened and Judy almost ran to the table. "I smell bacon, eggs, sausage, toast," she said as she sat and started to unload provisions onto her plate. We ate in silence for a while. A lot of food was consumed in quite a short time. Finally we had enough and Judy poured coffee. "I needed that," she said. "I've never been so hungry in my entire life." Judy was more than pretty, she was actually adorable. I couldn't remember ever being that close to someone so attractive. Even without any paint on, she looked gorgeous. Don't get me wrong. Nicole is just as gorgeous, but she wasn't sitting a few feet away from me right then, and I suspected that in a barefaced one-on-one, Judy would come out on top. I knew what would happen next, so I made a preemptive strike. "What do you do, Judy?" I asked. I'd suddenly realized that life histories would be the next and inevitable topic, and I needed to think what I was going to say, so letting Judy go first would give me a little more time to think. "Right now, nothing. I work in fashion design, but I have nothing lined up. I'm between engagements, as they say. Yesterday I was on my way to Las Vegas to check out a job a friend told me about. The day before that my boyfriend told me he'd found a new girlfriend, so I decided getting out of the city for a while, or possibly forever, was a good idea. I've been with that prick for 6 years, supported him through college and got him a brilliant job through my connections, and he threw me over for a cocktail waitress. Fuck him. The interesting thing is that today I feel different. Somehow the despicable waitress fucking Kurt doesn't seem quite so important anymore. Today it feels like I should just move on and the hell with him, forget him, and just hope he gets a disease from his new friend that makes his dick drop off. I'm 27 tomorrow. I think I'll just concentrate on myself for a while. Judy smiled. I knew just what she meant about moving on, that is. Clearly the fire had affected her the same way it affected me. I know what you mean, I said. The fire and my escape from it, my survival, sort of crystallized my thoughts. All I could think of while I was running down the corridor was what I would miss if I died. What hadn't I done that I wanted to? What would I have achieved in my life so far? And what have you achieved in life so far? Judy asked. Nothing. Nothing truly significant, that is. I have a job that I'm good at and I'm proud of that, and I have a fiancé I'm in love with. Named? Nicole. Shit. Isn't that a girl's name? In the time-honored tradition of good stories, there was a knock at the door. I leaped up and opened it and found Jason standing there. Good morning, ladies. I hope you are both well. May I come in and talk to you about some things? Yes, please come in, Jason, I said. Anything to change the subject. Are you both okay? It was a terrible night last night. So far we have only one person unaccounted for, and that's a blessing, considering the speed and destructive nature of the fire. May I have some of your coffee? I haven't quite got to bed since yesterday yet, and I'm afraid I'm starting to feel the effects. Let me order a fresh pot, Jason, I said. I picked up the telephone and rang room service and asked for a fresh pot, an extra cup, and another chair. On the way, I said. Who's missing? Asked Judy. Jason looked distraught. One of our regular guests, a gentleman from Denver. His name is Felix Aronson. Do you remember coming across him last night? He's about 28 or 30, I think, blonde hair and about 5'9". I felt myself turn pale, but I said nothing. Judy said, I don't remember anyone who looked like that, but it was dark and confused. Jason continued. Also, Miss Bauer, your name doesn't appear on the guest list. I need to know if you were booked in under another name, or if you were visiting another guest. Oh! I suppose I should confess that I was with Mr. Aronson. We ran out together and I didn't see him after that, but I assumed he made it away safely. He just left you and disappeared? That's astounding that he would do something like that. I wonder what he was thinking of. Could he have been suffering from shock, do you think? He was most definitely disturbed, as we all were. I assumed he headed off to try and find his car, which would have been in the basement. Oh dear. The basement was almost the last place the fire spread to, but it's just a pile of debris now after the rest of the building collapsed into it. Do you know who his next of kin is? I presume you were sleeping over, and I have no interest in Mr. Aronson's sex life, but I seem to remember on one of his earlier trips he spoke of a fiancée, whose name I can't remember. Judy finally spoke. Nicole? I think you're right, Miss Brightman. That definitely rings a bell. Is there anything else you can remember, Miss Bauer? I'd gone from pale to bright red, and I didn't dare look at Judy. I'm sorry, I said. We weren't that close. We only recently met, and I didn't discuss whether he had any other girls. I'm sure he made it out though, so I'd assume he's missing, not dead in the fire. Nevertheless, I must advise the Denver police that he is missing. I have a packet of vouchers and some cash for you both. I also offer my apologies once more for the terrible events of last night. The cash is to get you through the next few days and help you replace the things you need for everyday use, like toothpaste and hair things, and the vouchers are to enable you to get some fresh clothes. We have a taxi service available to take all the people affected to the local mall, and you may charge up anything you like by way of day-to-day stuff. Just call the front desk and they'll set it up for you. Can you just sign a receipt for me, please? There is $2,000 each and another $1,000 in vouchers. My employers are well aware of their responsibilities in matters such as this. Jason gave me an envelope and a receipt which I signed and passed back. I tried to get a glimpse of Judy out of the corner of my eye. She looked normal. How long would that last? Thank you, ladies. This card has my mobile telephone number on it. Please call me if I can do anything at all. Oh, by the way, the mall is expecting people to arrive in bathrobes. Okay? Thank you very much. Miss Bauer, there may be a need to talk to you about Mr. Aronson later. As I said, I must notify the police in his hometown so they can trace his family. It would be reasonable to think you might get a visit from them. I'll wish you both good day. Please don't hesitate to call me. Jason got up and left. I could feel Judy looking at me and I felt myself turn even redder. Want to tell me about it, was all she said. Not really, I replied, but I suppose I have to. I looked her in the eye for the first time and she was grinning at me. Hey, it's not such a big deal, Amelia. It is Felix though, isn't it? I'm afraid so, Judy. God, I wish this hadn't happened. It's something like a worst nightmare for me, but I'm starting to realize there's also a part of me that's thoroughly enjoying it. Yesterday I could never have carried this off, and in fact I was afraid to step out the door while I was dressed up. If it's any comfort, Amelia, I had no idea you were male until the Nicole thing, and even then I probably wouldn't have made a connection if it wasn't for the hotel guy. Justin? Jason, with a Y dot. I've just remembered I was naked standing in front of you not that long ago. Do I look good? I blushed again. Absolutely brilliant, I said. If I looked as good as you, I'd be applying for jobs in Las Vegas too. As a dancer, not as a fashion designer. Thanks for the compliment. How long have you been doing this, Amelia? About 20 years. I'm actually 28 and I can remember dressing up in my sister's clothes when I was quite small. I can even remember the speeches, the wailing and the gnashing of teeth. I might have been even younger than 8. In any case, I learned to keep it quiet after the first time I found dancing in the hallway in a pair of panties and a camisole belonging to my oldest sister. I hid things away and only broke out if the house was empty. With 3 sisters it didn't happen all that often. Once I left home it was easier, but I'd still never been out until last night. And Nicole? What does she think? She doesn't know and I haven't been able to bring myself to discuss it with her. So you're going to give up a 20-year-plus habit because of a girl? Not just any girl. Nicole. She's just about as pretty as you and I love her. That's really nice, Amelia. You seem to be a sensitive girl and I think that's great. You may be surprised that I'm not put out that you're actually a guy, and that's because I know a few crossdressers already. In the fashion industry there are lots of them and mostly they're kind and sensitive. Tell me what you really do for a living, Amelia. I'm interested. I gave her a 200-word synopsis of my life. What are you going to do now, Ange? Do you mind if I call you Ange? I always liked the diminutive form of Amelia. I shook my head. Ange is fine. Do you realize what kind of opportunity you have here, Ange? Think about it. Felix has been declared missing. You could walk out of this room right now, go to the mall and get decked out as a girl, and just keep walking, strutting on your high heels into the future. You can say to yourself, call me Amelia, I'm a girl and a living doll. I can take on the world, I can show real girls how to be real girls. I'm smoking. My eyes were wide open by then. My mouth probably was as well. Bring Amelia to life? It was worth thinking about. Here's a scenario, Ange. Go to your office tomorrow, tell them you've been sent by head office to replace Felix, who's missing in the Great Barstow Fire. Do exactly what you were going to do before, but do it in a gray pinstripe skirt suit. High-heel pumps, black stockings, red satin and lace lingerie. What a blast! Could you do that? Not tomorrow, I answered. I just don't have the practice of being female in front of other people. I'd need to have a few dry runs. What happens when the people at the office mention that a woman came by and did the sales thing? Won't it get back home quickly? Like in 4 minutes? Won't the head office start an inquiry? Yeah, they will, Ange. They'll be asking who the hot girl was who seemed to have a grip on the business. They'll want to know what you said and what you did, and they'll be completely bamboozled. They'll probably want to track you down and hire you to replace Felix. Doesn't that sound like fun? You'd be forced to stay as Amelia forever. Does that sound like a punishment? My head was starting to spin, and my brain had gone into overdrive. I almost wish you hadn't said anything, Judy. All of a sudden there are possibilities I would never have thought about. I have one huge reservation, the same reservation I had before. Nicole. I don't think I can just walk away from her. It wouldn't be fair on her. Same with my parents. It would cause a lot of grief and my conscience wouldn't allow it. What about Jason? What if he tells all those people I was with a strange woman, a gorgeous woman? All hell will break loose. I've half a mind to stop it right now, call Jason and tell him the truth so he can tell everybody I'm okay. I can understand that, Ange. Now tell me this and be completely honest. What will you do when you tell Nicole you want to dress up as a girl and she says you're a pervert and a weirdo and tells you she won't put up with it? In fact, she might tell you to just fuck off out of her life right there and then and immediately advise your family and friends and your employers. Scary thought. I felt myself go pale. Judy looked sympathetic. That's all for now. See you in the next video. For more story, please subscribe my channel and support me at Patreon for more interesting and exclusive content.